Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome to Timber Falls, home for CNC creators like you. In today's video, we're going to go over the different ways to straighten vectors in Carveco Maker. I imported a bitmap or photo of this fish, and I created the vectors using the bitmap to vector tool. If you haven't seen my video on how to use the bitmap to vector tool, I'll put that in the link below. When we use the bitmap to vector tool, sometimes these vectors come in and they're pretty ugly. They have a lot of bumps and lines, and I'm going to show you how to straighten these out. The first thing we're going to do is look at our vector doctor, and I'm just looking for vector intersections. It does look like we have an issue, and I can see that it's two vectors that are crossing over each other. We're going to clear those markers. The other thing the vector doctor does really well is you can search for vectors by a certain size. In this case, we have it set to 0.01, and so if I click vectors, close vectors smaller than 0.01, this will highlight all these small little vectors that are smaller than this 0.01. And it's usually at that size, they're not going to resolve very well anyway. So we would just want to get rid of them. I just press delete on the keyboard to get rid of those. The next method we're going to use is the node editor. And if I click on a line, let's click on this vector. It has a bunch of really bad shapes in it that don't belong, that we want to try and straighten out. So to open our node editor, we can come over here and click on our node editor to open it up. You can also press N on the keyboard. To find all of these keyboard shortcuts, you can go to Help and Shortcuts, and this will give you a list of all the different keyboard shortcuts that exist. I wanted to show you that because this next step uses several of these keyboard shortcuts to make things faster. Now, to get rid of a bunch of these lines or in stuff, what we're just going to do is delete those nodes that make up this part of this line that we don't want to use. So we're just going to highlight those nodes. Now, we highlighted this node on the back side. We need to be able to highlight the nodes that are together. If we highlight this node, it will say that we have a span that it won't be able to delete. If we press D on the keyboard, it'll get rid of those nodes. And so what we can do is sort of come along and just delete all the different little sections that stick out that are really bad. And you can see that I'm quickly cleaning this up. Now, a quicker way to do this is to click one node, hold Shift, and then click another node, then all the nodes in between will be highlighted. And if you press D, it will delete them. Now notice this does make straight lines, so you may need to come back and add nodes to create a smoother line. And a good way to do that is to just highlight those nodes that you want to make smooth. Let's highlight these nodes. And we're just going to press S on the keyboard to smooth these out. Now, if you need it to be a line, you can highlight the ones that you want to make a line and press L on the keyboard to make those lines. We're just going to leave it like that. So you can go along and fix really bad spots by just getting rid of them. This is probably the fastest way to fix a lot of these really ugly spots in this drawing and get it a lot closer to the shape that you're looking for. The next method I want to show you is the ArcFit Vectors tool and the Spline Vectors tool. Now we're going to be using both of these in combination with each other in order to create two offsets of these tolerances to make this line straighter. And I'll show you what I mean. First, we're going to have a tolerance of our Spline Vector tool, and this is set to 0.001. Then I have my ArcFit Vectors tool, and this is set to 0.01. So this is 0.001 and this is 0.01. I also have this preserve straight spans that are longer than 2 inches. Basically, anytime it finds a span that's longer than 2 inches and is perfectly straight, it won't apply the spline vector to that section because it'll already be straight. Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see the effect of these tools as I spline the vectors. The first one we're going to do is spline the vectors. And you'll notice that when I press that it already sort of straightened those out. And now I'm going to press my Arc Fit Vectors tool. And you can see that it quickly straightened those out. We're going to do it again over here. I'm going to spline the vectors and then Arc Fit Vectors. Let's try it again. Spline the vectors, Arc Fit Vectors. I have quickly straightened out all of those vectors using this method. I'll show you again on the outline of this. We're going to use spline vectors, Arc Fit Vectors. Spline, Arc Fit. Spline, Arc Fit, just like magic. Let's try this one. Spline, Arc Fit, Spline, Arc Fit. I'm going to just click this a few times and we'll do the rest of the picture here. Now, I do want to warn you that this sometimes can round out some of your shapes. So if it rounds them out, you may have to go back in and add those angles back in. But it is a good way to quickly get rid of a lot of your really uneven lines. Now this project is ready to V-carve or make 3D. Guys, I hope these tutorials are helping. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. Give us a thumbs up and maybe shoot us a comment down below. Let us know how we're doing. I'd like to give a big thanks to all of our Timber Falls Elite members. You guys keep the bit spinning and we really appreciate your support. If you're interested in becoming a Timber Falls Elite, check out the link below or our website at timberfalls.us. Thanks, guys.